Hello, May class, and welcome to your next maths lesson. In the previous lesson, we have been looking at subtracting fractions, firstly from whole numbers, and then we were looking at the following in the previous lesson. Share my screen. We were looking at finding fractions of an amount. So in today's lesson, we are going to be continuing with our fractions, and today we're going to be looking at finding non-unit fractions of amounts. So think back to what we said yesterday about how to find the fractions of an amount, and then our unit fractions, remember fractions with a 1 as our numerator. Non-unit fractions obviously are different. But before we start that, let's go through our arithmetic. As we do in all our lessons, I'm going to give you a bit of time to answer these questions, and then we will go through the answers together. So pause the video now, work out these 10 questions, and then when you unpause the video, the answers will be there, and then we will go through them. So pause your video now. Right, let's go through our answers. 5 times 9 is 45. What is 33 shared into 3 equal groups is 11, because we could have gone 33 divided into 3 is 11. What is 888 as a Roman numeral? Now, it was quite a long one, so I've written it at the bottom there. So it's D, C, 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 L, X, 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 V, I, I, I. What is 5 sixths plus 2 sixths? The answer is 7 sixths, and if we convert that into a mixed number, it is 1 and 1 sixths. 4 times 8 is 32. 64 divided by 4 is 16. 10 kilometers into meters is 10,000 meters, because there are 1,000 meters in a kilometer. 4,823 plus 4,136 is 8,959. 9,875 minus 4,445 is 5,430. And 49 divided by 7 is 7. So, as mentioned in the beginning, we're going to be finding non-unit fractions of an amount. Remember that when we were looking for unit fractions of an amount, so for example, if we said, what is 1/5 of 20, we would divide 20 by the bottom number, which is 5. So we'd say 20 of 20, we would say 20 divided by 5, which would give us 4. Okay, and obviously we can times it by the top number, which is 1. So 4 times 1 is equal to 4. So we are going to work together to find 1/8 of 32. So I'm going to start it by, I'm going to write it down where we can see it. So we've got 1/8 of 32. And I'm going to use little groupings to help me with this. So remember what we said, you are dividing 32 divided by 8. You are dividing by the bottom number, and your answer, you will be multiplying it by the top number, or you will just be counting how many groups there are of that one. So for example, we need 8 groups. So let's create 8 groups. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to make it slightly bigger because they need to be equal groups. 7, 8. They're a little uneven because I've drawn them obviously freehand, but we need to have 8 groups into which we are going to divide. We're going to divide 32. So if you know your times tables, this will help. So you could go 8, 16, 24, 32. If you're not sure how to do that, you can draw your 8 groups, and we can just draw them like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. It does take a bit longer, so it is more useful if you remember your times tables, because we can see that actually 8 times by 4 will give me 32. We know that the numerator tells us how many of these groups we need to count, so we're actually only counting 1, which is why I give you the sum of 32 divided by 8 equals something, and if you times that by the numerator, which is 1, will give you an answer, and that will be what 1/8 of 32 is. So 32 divided by 8 is 4, and then 4 times 1 is going to be 4. It's 1 group. Okay, and this is quite important, this step here, when we are working with non-unit fractions, and it will become a little bit clearer as we carry on. So remember, to find 1/4 of 32, the denominator tells you how many equal groups you need to break this number into. So you do 32 divided by 8 will give me 4, and then 1 group is obviously 4, which is there, or you can times it by 1, and it's the same, it will give me 4. So 1/8, we write out the answer, you would write 1/8 of 32 is 4. Okay. So pause if there's something that you're not sure of, have a read through to what I've written, and see if you have a clear understanding of that. So now we're going to be working with non-unit fractions. So there are 10 cubes. We need to find out what 2/5 of these cubes are. We know from before that our first step is to find out a unit fraction of this amount. So you want to find out what 1/5 of this is. So we are going to divide as we would normally. We want to say 2/5 of 10 is the question. So we know that we need to put 10 into 5 equal groups. And knowing my times tables, I know that I can put 2, that's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, and 5 groups. I've got 5 equal groups. So if 1/5 of 10 is 2, then 2/5, so 2 of those 5 groups of 10 is going to be 2, 4. Remember what we said about how and I'm going to insert a page here so we can do a bit more on this so you have a better understanding. Okay, so the question was, what is 2/5 of 10? Okay, so remember with the steps that we said, the bottom number, this one here, is what you divide this number by. So you say 10 divided by 5 equals 2. Okay, so that is, this number here is going to tell you what 1/5 of 10 is. So 2/5 will be this number, I'm going to do it in a different color, multiplied by the top number. So multiplied by 2 will give me 4. So 2 fifths of 10 is 4. Okay, so you divide by the bottom and you times by the top. Multiply. So that is your rule when you're finding fractions of an amount. You divide the number by the bottom, you multiply it by the top number. So we know, this is obviously going back to this question with looking at finding 2/5 of it, and we have just spoken through this. We know that 1/5 of 10 is equal to 2, but we need to find out what 2/5 are. To do this, we multiply 1/5 by 2 to get 2/5. So 2/5 of 10 is equal to 4, and this is what we've just discussed together. So let's work out these ones, and I'm happy to do 1 or 2 of these with you. So I will do this first one here to help you, and then you can get on with the next ones, and then we will go on to our tasks. So the question is, Dexter has used a bar model and counters to find 3/4 of 12. So just as before, you can see that 12 has been broken into 4 equal groups. Remember, we divide, I'm going to write it here, divide by, let's move my screen up so I can see, divide by the bottom, and then you multiply by the top. Sorry. So if we divide 12 by the bottom, we say 12 divided by 4 will give me 3. And then I multiply it by the top, which is 3. So 3 times by 3 is equal to 9. So 3/4 of 12 is equal to 9. Okay. And we can see from using this bar model that we are correct, because it says, can you divide 12 into 4 equal groups? We have done this. So one of these groups, again, will show me what a 1/4 of 12 is. This would be 2/4 of 12. This would be 3/4 of 12. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3/4 of 12 is equal to 9. Pause the video now and complete these questions using Dexter's method to calculate 5/6 of 12, 12, 2/3 of 12, 2/3 of 18, and 7/9 of 18. Okay, I will do the working out for these ones just next to it in very small without drawing them, but you should have drawn these out when you were working them out. But I'm just going to use our rules here to help me work these out. So 5/6 of 12, we would say 12 divided by 6. We divide by the bottom, we times by the top. So 12 divided by 6 is 2. 2 times 5 is 10. This one, 12 divided by the bottom and then times by the top. So 12 divided by 3 will give me 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 18 divided by 3, you would say 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. And then the last one, 18 divided by 9 will give me 2. 2 times by 7 is 14. So your answers are 5/6 of 12 is 10. 2/3 of 12 is 8, 2/3 of 18 is 12, and 7/9 of 18 is 14. Because I've used my 2 rules of dividing by the bottom and then multiplying it by the top. Amir uses a bar model and place value counters to find 3/4 of 8. So if we write that out, 3/4 of 84, we would say 84 divided by 4 gives me 21, and 21 times by 3 gives me 63. So 3/4 of 84 is equal to 63. And we can check this with his place value counters that he's used here. We've got 21 in each one of the quarters, and we need 3/4 of those. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63. It is that amount there, which is 63. So using Amir's method, can you answer the following? What is 2/3 of 36, 2/3 of 45, and I can't see the bottom bit. Let me just, I'm going to have to clear this. 2/5 of 65. So those are the questions you're answering. So pause the video now, answer those questions using Amir's model, and then we will go through the answers. Right, well done. Hopefully you've redrawn these using a ruler and your bar model and your place value counters, but I will do the shortened version just to go over the answers with you and you can check them. So 36 divided by 3 is 12. 12 times 2 is equal to 24. 45 divided by 3 will give me, let me just check this, I think it's 15. So 15, 30, 45, yes, and I times that by 2, and that will give me 30. 65 divided by 5, 1 in there, 1 there, and we can say 3. Or have I gone? I think I've gone wrong here. Give me a second. No, that's correct. So 65 divided by 5 is 13. 13 times by 3 will give me 39 would be my answer, because I've divided by the bottom and I've multiplied by the top number. So check your answers now and make sure that you have got the correct answer before I clear this. So pause the video. Right, moving on to our tasks. Our tasks say draw counters into the bar model to help complete each of these number sentences. So 2/3 of 15. And this here is exactly how I would like you to lay your work out, please. Make sure that you've got 2/3 of 15 is equal to, and then you would have your bar model drawn. And obviously we're going to draw this in. So if we say 15 divided by 3 gives me 5. So we know that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you are looking for timesing it by the top number, which is times by 2, which gives me 10. So, or you, like we've shown previously, you can count this as how many groups. It needs 2. So it's 1, 2, and it would be a total of 10. So I would like you to lay your work out just as it's been given here. And then it says match the questions to the answers. So 2/3 of 9, 3/5 of 15, 5/6 of 12, 3/4 of 20. Work those out and then draw lines to match them. Task 2, Kim uses a bar model and place value counters to find 2/3 of 36. Using her method, complete the number sentences. So make sure you're showing place value counters, perhaps in different colors, so I can see your 10s and your 1s, and then work out the 3 questions that have been given there. Then question 2 of task 2 says complete the number sentences, and I want you to use whichever method works for you to work out those 3 questions. And task 3 says Dora, Whitney, and Ron each find a fraction of 24 using counters. So Dora's got 5/6 of 24, Whitney's got 2/3 of 24, and Ron has got 18 counters, and he's got a fraction of 24. So what fraction of 24 is 18? So who has the most counters? Show you're working. How many more counters does Dora have than Whitney? And then write fractions to make these statements correct. Something of 36 is smaller than 18. Something of 36 is equal to 18. A fraction of 36 is bigger than 18. And how many different answers can you find for each one of these questions? Don't forget to share your work with us on Tapestry. Please make sure it is uploaded by 4 p.m. this afternoon.